Today is the story of a day in the life of a Nip-Nip Gek-Lord. Today's story begins at Point Atlas, the Nip-Nip Gek-Lord's Research and Development Center for the varying Nip-Nip strains. This is also his starship loading and unloading dock. The strains of types they have created here include Silver Surfer, a Sativa strain, Red Magna, a Indica strain, and many other strains. Today, the Gek-Lord is here to unload his starship as well as exosuit to be free of any sort of items so that he may harvest his new farm one more time before selling over 4 storage containers worth of Nip-Nip. The Gek-Lord is also an overseer on the side. He currently has a B-class settlement and is only about less than a day away from being debt-free. The next place the Gek-Lord would go to would be Project Nip-Nip, the Gek-Lord's new Nip-Nip farm. This farm holds over 800 Nip-Nip plants and can be harvested in less than 2 minutes. This is what the Nip-Nip Gek-Lord would be doing for his next 2 minutes as he harvested the last of his Nip-Nip as he prepared for his sale of his Nip-Nip. After having harvested all of his Nip-Nip, the Gek-Lord would then hop into his fire, which he had recently parked outside of his Project Nip-Nip, where he would be headed to a trading post, where he would begin to sell all of his Nip-Nip. Upon arrival to the trading post, he would begin to transfer all of his Nip-Nip from his freighter to his exosuit and starship inventory, as well as loading his exocraft that was self-aware, full of Nip-Nip to sell to wandering trade station peoples. Unfortunately, upon venturing out to find people to purchase his Nip-Nip, he was only finding lowballers and scumbags only wanting to offer low amounts. One man even dared offer the lowly amount of negative 5.5%. Finally, after some searching, someone was willing to pay 2% higher than the normal value of Nip-Nip, and of course the Gek-Lord then decided to sell as much of his Nip-Nip to this man as possible. He would then begin to unload the rest of his Nip-Nip, selling it all to this exact man here. That's right, one customer purchased every single drop of Nip-Nip from the Gek-Lord today. It was a good day. 2% higher than normal rates. This brought his lifetime total of Nip-Nip sold to 1.2 billion credits worth, and he was almost just shy of 700 million credits. The Gek-Lord would then land on his S-Class freighter, where he would park his ship amongst the rest of his S-Class starships. On the next day, the Gek-Lord would find himself at his Eisenham portal base, where he would be entering in these glyphs to what is supposedly a first wave S-Class starship station. These are the glyphs. Feel free to follow along if you wish. The Gek-Lord would then enter into his portal and head to space, where he would be heading to the space station, where he would then begin buying his resources as well as looking for any people selling their starships. Upon finding people selling starships, he would then purchase any materials they had of value, and then, provided they had an A or S-Class ship, he would purchase their ship for later future scrapping. The Gek-Lord would do this for the next couple hours, spending hundreds of millions of credits on starships and resources. These resources would be used in a handful of things, from Nip-Nip farms to nanite factories to much more Gek-Nip Gek-Lord related things. Having doing this for several hours, the Gek-Lord would go back and forth, scrapping and purchasing as many starships as he could, while also occasionally reloading his autosave in hopes of finding an S-class ship to purchase for more storage upgrades. The next place the Gek-Lord would find himself was going to be tetrahydroxycannabinoid, aka THC, his Gek-Lord headquarters for fellow Gek-Lords to meet and discuss all sort of nip related things. He would then take into his purge, where he would activate his trade outpost scanner and find the nearest trade post. Upon arriving here, he actually had to cut his way into the trading post so he could access the black market terminal. Half of this station had somehow been glitched into a mountain. Here he would continue to purchase items for his nanite factory, such as hypnotic eyes, hadal cores, larval cores, as well as some more suspicious tech and arm packets, not to mention runaway mold. The next place he would find himself would be his S-class Sentinel freighter, where he would begin smelting down all of his nanite factory resources and materials, at least as many as he had, in hopes of getting his new B-class starship up to S-class. He would then go around the criminal galaxies purchasing any tech and armor packets, as well as some more resources for his nanites factory, which he would then smelt down. He was now at roughly 25,000 nanites. He did this until he had about 75,000, where he would be upgrading his B-class ship first to A and then to S-class. This is going to be bringing an end to the life of a Nip Gek-Lord. Hopefully I will catch y'all in the next adventure. The Gek-Lord had landed himself at just a little over 550 million credits even after all of this. What next should the Gek-Lord even do to spend all of his fortunes? But I do believe that is all, guys. Go ahead and leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and keep it beast mode.